Hello, dear friends. Here we are Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or anytime you want to watch this on demand at your time. Welcome to the Spiritist Magazine program. Here we are again, broadcasting to you from Central Virginia, the spiritual side of Richmond, to nourish our souls with Kardec Radio. And today, we have a beautiful article from issue 48 of the Spiritist magazine that was published in January of 2020, but as always, very, very much related to the present moment. And it's titled, You Are Never Alone. Never ever we are alone. If nothing, we have our mentors with us, our spirit companions, our spiritual family, the spirits who like the things you and I like. There's so much for us to see in this chapter. And this article is from an anonymous spirit that spoke through the medium Yvonne Crespo Limoges. She's the medium. And here we are. Together, we're going to talk about the different companions that you and I have in our lives. It will be a very nourishing opportunity for you and I to remind ourselves of the beauty and the magnificence of what God has allowed us to have, which is ultimately the ability to know that we are always in the presence of those who we love, those who are partaking in our activities. And the beauty is the divine providence is always providing for you and I, and we're never, ever alone. As a reminder, as folks are coming in to our program, the invitation to visit spiritistmagazine.org. That's the website of the Spiritist Magazine. You can download the PDF. That's what I'm going to show you in a little bit so we can share the teachings together. We can read it and discuss it together. You can download it to your phone, to your computer. You can also download the app of the Spiritist Magazine. And if you wish, you can order the physical copy of the Spiritist magazine, which would allow you to use it at your home as well. We encourage everybody to go visit the website. This content is brought to you by the care and love and kindness of all of the volunteers of the Spiritist magazine, from all of us who host the programs and read from the content, to those who translate the messages, to the editor who puts it all together, and ultimately we are thankful to Jesus to grant us the opportunity of this consoling message to come to you and I today. So the issue is 48. If you're going to go download it with me, spiritistmagazine.org, look for issue 48. And as I'm going to show you right now, this is what you would have if you were to download this issue of the Spiritist magazine. This is the cover of the Spiritist magazine, and each and every page is chock full of information for our teachings. Beautifully done. Many articles. We actually have already talked about some of them here, including this one, In the Air by the Spirit Demure. It talks about the spiritual environment all around us. There are articles or chapters from the book Good News by the Spirit Humberto de Campos. And if you scroll down towards the end of the magazine, we will talk about this article here that is titled, You Are Never Alone. Very easy. You can have these teachings at your hand. Most beautiful. Very easy to work on. Very easy to learn from. We're going to adjust so that we can only see parts of it at a time so we can dissect it out. There we go. The anonymous spirits will tell us the effects of war, violence, natural disasters, sickness of mind, body, and soul, afflict all the inhabitants of your world one way or another. Isn't that interesting? This article was published in January 2020. Yes, everything that happens around us while we are living on this beautiful blue dot of a planet Earth in the solar system affects every human being. One way or another, you are, I am being affected by the effects of war, violence, natural disaster, sickness of mind, body, and soul. Yes, friends, we have made so much progress, yet we still have war, violence, and natural disasters, don't we? Nowadays, we have a pandemic going on, raging in the hearts and minds of the people, in the bodies of the inhabitants in different ways in different parts of the country. So, what happens to us affects them, and what happens to them affects you and I in both realms of life. Everything manifests itself first in the spiritual realm, and then we feel the effects of it on the physical realm. So, how are you being affected by the effects of war, violence, and natural disasters all around you? I hope that we can together realize the importance of self awareness, of doing an evaluation of how we are doing and where we want to be, so that we can create habits that will allow us for this emotional and spiritual shield that will allow things to affect and afflict us less and less, right? It says here, yet in the midst of all of your heartbreak, sorrow, fear, pain, and anguish, you are never alone. I'll repeat, you are never alone. As you may not see them, you may feel them or may not. Sometimes the presence of our spirit mentors will be felt in the form of intuition. Some of us are extensive mediums, they can see us. They can see the spirits all around them. The majority of us will have some level of mediumship, but not as extensive. So, dear friend, even when you are suffering, if you attune to the powers of prayers, you are never alone. Our mentors, our guides will be with us. Jesus will always send the spirit mentors to help us if and when we are open to receive their help. And guess what? Even when we're not even aware that spirits exist, if you know people in your life who do not know what spirits are, do not believe in the immortality of the soul, don't believe in reincarnation, that's okay. They're never alone either. The good spirits are also helping them because they, like we are children of God. So I want you to know that you're never alone because I want you to feel the loving embrace of your mentors with you when there's suffering, sorrow, fear, pain, or anguish in your life. And that's the message we were inspired to bring to you today, huh? The anonymous spirit will say, your spirit protector is ever by your side, instilling within and about you their beneficial spiritual vibrations of calmness, goodness, inspiration, and courage. So they're always, always, always with us, each and every day of our lives. And what are they doing? When we attune to their presence, when we open our minds, we are humble to realize we need help. We pray, we read good things, we nourish our souls with good content. Their beneficial spiritual vibrations will give us calmness. So we are less anxious, there's less anguish, there's less fear. Goodness, so that you can feel that you are a co-creator with God. In a lesser plane, nevertheless, we wanted to co-create in goodness each and every day of our lives. Inspiration to do the right thing. Inspiration to do the hard thing that will allow us to grow spiritually. And courage, so that we can take a stance and be in the side of good. So when we open our minds to realization that our spirit mentors are with us, always by our side, we can feel calm, we can feel goodness, we can feel inspiration and courage. And in meeting the special love that comes from the divine source to help uphold you through all of your many struggles, pains, tribulations, trauma, and the daily drudgery widespread on your material world. Take a deep breath in. Let's take this inspiration that the mentors are giving us today to be attuned here at Kardec Radio in the Spiritist Magazine program. When we open our hearts and minds to co-creating goodness with God, not only they will instill in us, within us, about us, beneficial spiritual vibrations, but they will also emit this special love that comes from the divine source, which is God. If you go to the book Genesis by Allan Kardec, there's a whole chapter on God. And in that chapter, you're going to read the divine providence is God's care for all its creatures. And divine providence is abundant in its resources of love and kindness. The difference between the superior spirit and us is that they can retrieve from that divine providence those emanations of special love, those resources in a more clear, more open, more abundantly than you and I can. So knowing that they are by your side, instilling calmness, goodness, inspiration, and courage, I encourage you to pray so they can come to your aid. You are never alone. I'm going to repeat this many times. I want you to tell, even if you can't verbalize to people yet that don't understand, that they are never alone, because we know some folks on the earth are still materialistic. In your heart, in your mind, you can visualize their mentors with them. And you can pray that their mentors inspire them when they are in your presence. And now you are co-creating in goodness with God. We don't have to go out and convert everybody. Well, we need to use the teachings that the spirits are bringing to us so that our actions are coherent with our speech, that is coherent with what we think, that is coherent with our thoughts. So it's about coherence. We learn, we say that we want to have loving vibrations of calmness, goodness, inspiration, and courage. And now it's time to apply the teachings and do those things in our daily lives. And the special love that comes from divine source will do what to you and I? Uphold us through the many struggles, pain, tribulations, and traumas and the daily drudgery that is widespread in this material world. Now, dear friends, the material world is blessed as much as the spiritual world. The material world of this earth allows you and I to have this physical body. And we are here all together in the planet of trials and expiations, who is undergoing a transition many decades from now to be a planet of regeneration. We will have struggles, pains, tribulations, and trauma. And that's how we can learn and we can grow. So it's a blessing to be in the physical world right now. So if you know someone who is struggling, who has pain, tribulations, and traumas, reach out to them. Give them the blessing of your presence, of your inspiration and love, and tell them you're never alone. I'm here with you. Your mentor, if they are open to those teachings, their mentor say, your mentor is here with you. Let's pray to them. Fortunately, we'll have, or unfortunately, we'll have pain, tribulations, and traumas, but it's about time that we shift the mindset and put a different set of lenses where we can see traumas, struggles, tribulations as opportunities for growth. Also, from the spirit world are the spirits of our family and dear friends for present and past lives, doing their parts to help ease your distress, anxieties, doubts, and loneliness, trying hard to comfort and console you. Their empathy allows them to know your pain and to see your tears. Now, dear friends, we may know right now many people have lost loved ones due to COVID or due to the many other diseases that afflict our physical bodies in this world, right? Many, many hundreds of thousands of people die every day. Some of those folks, there are numbers to some of us, are loved ones, family, and dear friends of others. So when they go on, move on, they graduate to the spirit world. Once they recuperate from their transition, and once they grow and serve, they're allowed to visit with us, to do their part to help us ease our distress and anxiety. So visualize your loved ones if they're transitioning or if they have transitioned recently to the spiritual realm as these beings being received by nurses, therapists, physicians in the spiritual realm, being taken to areas of consolation in hospitals in the spiritual realm. So they're strong and they heal and they can gather their strength and be able to arm themselves with the tools to help you and I on the earth. Pray that they can inspire you. Pray for their recuperation. And that's how this interaction between the two realms happen, consciously or unconsciously, each and every day, for all the 7 billion incarnates and the 28, 30 billion or more discarnate beings that live off of the atmosphere of the earth. You are never alone. Whatever you and I are doing in our daily lives is determining the type of company that we have. And what happens when tonight, after this program, and stick around, dear friend Carol Correa, Dr. Carol Correa is also presenting her program at 9 p.m. on the divine law. Stick around and learn about the divine law so that we can co-create in goodness as well. Once we do that and we finish our day after nourishing our souls, you're going to go to sleep. And what happens when you sleep? When your body sleeps, the spirits directly interact with us, with yours. In this case, the spirit's talking to us. When it returns to the spirit world every night, yes, you return to the spirit world every night. So why fear? We go there and visit with them each and every day. Every time your physical body is sleeping, you're resting the physical cells of the body, and your spirit is traveling. So consciously, we want to pray that we can go and interact with them. We can receive their inspiration, their healing, their teachings, so that when we return to the physical body every morning, or whenever you wake up, depending on your work shift, you can feel consoled and help and bring those teachings to life in their life. They reach out, the spirits reach out to provide guidance, counseling, and healing, as well as to remind you of the just cause and the why of what you're going through, the kind of life you chose. So, what can you and I do during our sleep time, according to this superior spirit, which is in alignment with what you would find in the spirit's book, for example, or in all of the books of highly regarded spirits of the life in the spiritual realm series of Andrea Luiz. He himself described many spiritual aid missions to the earth during our sleep. So when we sleep tonight, we engage in intelligent sleep. When we pray before going to bed, that God grant us the opportunity of getting their guidance, counseling, healing, as well as if we need, they remind us of the just cause of why we are going through the things that we are going through, why we chose the life we chose, because of the lessons that we needed to learn. So as we go throughout the day, we want to align our thoughts, our feelings, our ideas, and our actions so that I go throughout the day in a vibrational pattern that at night allows me to disengage from my physical body partially, travel to the spiritual realm, and encounter your mentors, your family members, your friends that passed a long time ago. It's rejoicing in being together again. So they will also remind us of the life we pledged to undergo with strong determination in our presence experience. Now they're reminding us of our reincarnatory plan. Dear friend, you're never alone. When we return to the physical realm, not only We have planned, we have a map of what we are here to do, the things we pledged to do, the life we chose, the actions we take in previous life that determine the type of trials we have to undergo. But we also have a group of spirits that help us accomplish that feat. Think about your grandparents had to be together and have your parents. Your parents had to meet and plan to have you. Had to have molded your physical body during pregnancy and be born and so on and so forth. And there's many, many incarnate and discarnate spirits that work together in order for us to be here today. So that's the true meaning of the Love Society, where we are together for a purpose. And then during sleep, we can return to the spiritual realm and be in direct contact with the spirits all around us. So, what does this anonymous spirit ask us to do? The anonymous spirit says, knowing all of this, please try to open your hearts to all these loving spirits who care so much for you, so very much for you personally and for your spiritual progress. Even if we don't know, they're there, they're there. You're never alone. I want you to feel the loving embrace because they care so much for you. And I want you to know that whatever the suffering we are going through, you are going through right now, because we are all together on the earth. We are all, remember, afflicted by all of those wars, diseases, natural disasters that we encounter. We are all affected in some way or another. Yet those loving spirits are there caring for us, allowing us to humble ourselves and realize that we need their help and ask for their help. What do? They reach out to help you, although you may not see them. They are there. If you are a spiritist, or if you want to know of spiritism, we believe in the immortality of the soul, in the many reincarnations that we have, and the exchange and communicability of spirits with in both realms of life. These spirits are out there reaching out to us. We want to tune to their vibrational pattern so that we can, during moments of pure desperation, you may feel the loving, sweet impressions. They are there with us. You are never alone. Whatever the difficulties you're having today, their loving, sweet impressions can be felt by you. We have to open ourselves up to that. So try your best to be emotionally, mentally receptive to receive their loving, valuable, and productive influences. Now, how do we do that? That's beautiful to say, right? Try your best to be emotionally and mentally receptive to receive their loving, valuable, and productive influences. Dear friends, we have to make a commitment within our hearts to do the good, to feel the good, to mold the good, to visualize the good in everyone around us. You wake up in the morning and you pray, thanking God that you returned from the spiritual realm. You read an inspirational message, you do a meditation, you write your goals or what you're thankful for, you take care of your physical body's need and the needs of your family, you go to work, you serve those around you, see your labor as a fruit of love and kindness all around, the useful activity that makes the help of all everyone. So being emotionally, mentally receptive to their loving influence also allows us to be selective in what I read, in what I consume, in what I eat, and how I talk about things, and how I interact with people, how I talk about people. I shouldn't be talking about people. And when you're talking about someone, bring the goodness that they have out of them. If someone is talking bad about someone, remind themselves, those folks, that there's more than the eye can see. There's more than is being externalized at the moment. So when we are emotionally, mentally receptive, we do physical hygiene, in order to take care of our physical bodies. We exercise the body, we nourish it well, and we take care of our emotional needs. We go see a psychologist if it's needed. We reach out to friends. We establish a routine of volunteerism. We reach out to our friends to see what they need. We reach out to those who need. And then we take care of our emotions. We read good books. We listen to good music. We filter out, excuse my French, the garbage that we are fed each and every day with our phones and social media. We trim out what we receive on those devices each and every day. So what it's left is of goodness. So we're mindful. In other words, we're mindful of our actions. We're self aware and humble to know that we need. But it's a daily commitment and it's a daily exercise in self awareness and mindfulness. And it is just like exercising a muscle. He says, be reminded that pain in all its forms suffered upon the earth washes away the impurities of your soul. So pain, dear friend, in all its forms is a blessing to our souls. The knots and the impurities you and I have collected throughout lifetimes can be washed away when we undergo any form of pain. If we use the opportunity wisely to see that opportunity as a bath of light, removing those impurities of our souls. All the trials, tests, and atonements elevate our spirit, and it's easier said than done. And that's why we every day we try and see, okay, why, God, am I going through this? Why? What is the purpose of this trial? How can I be resigned to your will and lovingly going through the experience without rebelliousness, without despair, without incurring even in more debts that I have to redress in the future? In this way, sentiments can be awakened in order for you to have more of an inner appreciation and further comprehension of compassion, forgiveness, sympathy, empathy, benevolence, charity, and fraternal love. Sometimes, dear friends, our suffering allow us to see the side of others that we wouldn't consider if we weren't suffering. I'll give you an example. Let's say that you are a healthcare provider, right? We talked a lot about healthcare providers and how much of a hero they are for working and putting up with us when we go out there, we live our lives, and we find ourselves in a hospital, for example. If you are treating people but you're physically healthy, God bless that physical healthy body. But if one day you are the one suffering, you can see with compassion, and you know how hard it is to have pain in the physical body, to have difficulties completing your activities of daily living, to have difficulties moving to and from. When we lose our health, all of a sudden, we're sympathetic with those who suffer around us. We are able to see with compassion and love those who are suffering and unable to bear the burden of their sufferings and may choose differently and incur in error. When we lack something, we can be more empathetic to those who are doing things because they lack something physically, spiritually, or not. So when we go through trials, tests, and atonements, we can be awakened and have this inner appreciation for the blessings of God that are bestowed upon all of us on the earth. And sometimes we don't see it. He says, dear ones, as you advance, yes, you're never alone. And yes, this is a blessed experience on the earth. And yes, you advance. The law of progress says that you and I, each and every lifetime, grow. We may choose to stay stagnant temporarily, but life will catch up. God will grant us opportunities and will grant us trials and expiations that will promote growth. As we advance, our suffering will be less and you eventually reach true happiness. And when you become a superior spirit, because that's your destiny. You are never alone, and we will advance with the help of the spirits who are around us, our loved ones, our dear friends who have passed to the spiritual realm, our spirit mentors and spirit guides that are with us since the time we started planning this reincarnation. And we can feel their loving presence in our daily lives while awake and more directly when we are going to sleep. And together we will evolve side by side with them until we reach this true happiness. It says, the divine evolutionary process provides for your spirit's enlightenment. enhancing your intellectual and moral elevation. So be strong. The Creator is all love, and you're always provided with spiritual assistance to fulfill your soul's journey. Dear friend, what a blessing to be with you today. And as we are together in order to talk about this most important and timely message, we are never alone. With you are your spirit mentors. With me, I have my spirit mentors. And each and every being on the earth have their spirit mentors with them. And the source of course, the source of this article is issue 48 of the Spiritist magazine, but it was published the Spirit Society of Florida, its newsletter of September 2019. So I'm going to return to the title of this article that will say, "You are never alone." Ever, ever. And I hope that throughout the day and throughout the night, tonight, and throughout the week until next week, we'll be together again, God willing. God blessing us with this opportunity as Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope that you can feel the loving presence of your spirit mentors with us each and every day, that we can take a moment to breathe in, breathe out, using the built-in systems in our bodies to calm ourselves and feel calm, goodness, charitable, benevolence, and empathy toward ourselves and others. That you can meditate on the blessings of having our spirit mentors to guide us, and that we can open our minds and hearts to be with them each and every day. Remember, this is a daily commitment, a daily exercise where you and I can feel nurtured and helped, because ultimately the blessings of this reincarnation wouldn't be possible if we didn't have our spirit companions with us guiding us, and if we didn't have the blessings of God and the opportunity of service with the Master Jesus each and every day. So may He and His good spirits bless you and your family today in your neighborhood, and may you feel loved and fulfilled each and every day. Please write to us, leave your questions and comments. We'll love to hear from you. Go to all of the social medias of the world, like, subscribe, follow, in the future, whatever else we've created. Then, if you're watching this on demand, it's always an honor and a blessing to be with you. And dear friends, I hope that I can see you again next week when we return with another Spiritist magazine program. Have a blessed night.